Good morning from Stonehaven, and as you can see behind me, there's not a whole lot of wind, so that's alright. It's only about 7 something in the morning, enjoying my coffee, and yeah, just taking it in. Haven't quite decided what I'm doing today. I'm kind of thinking of going up Hook Passage to the other side of Whitsunday Island, maybe heading up to Chalky's Beach or something. I don't think I'll get there today. Maybe find a nice spot halfway along, so I can get into Chalky's fairly early in the morning, and hopefully score a mooring. Anyway, let's see what the day brings, but it's certainly a pretty picture day. Yeah, it's just a beautiful clear day, as I said. My mooring here didn't give me much grief last night. I think it tapped the boat probably twice. That's it, so I've just kept it at an arm's length for as long as possible. So look at this. It's funny, it was making funny noises, the buoy, and I thought, it sounds like a whale breathing, but no. Hayman Island, you can see the resort there. It's got the sun on it at the moment. Funny position in a way, because of course it's going to be sheltered from the sun in the winter and get full-on sun in the summer, which is a little bit opposite to what you want here in Queensland, but it's been there for a long time, so it's obviously doing all right. And the sun coming over the hills here, beautiful. Okay, well that's goodbye to Stonehaven. Nice spot. I've checked the colour of the water. Yeah, like that everywhere, isn't it? Trust me. Anyway, heading out into a beautiful sunny day. Little bit of a zephyr of a breeze now. Just going to motor out a bit further. I've got the mainsail up so far. So let's see where it goes. I haven't quite decided, once again, where I'm going to go today. Probably want to head a bit north. I also want to sort of stay within internet range because I'm expecting a few messages. It's Friday, so after today it doesn't matter that much. So let's see where it takes me. Just getting further away from Stonehaven. Did I mention what kind of an island paradise this is? Just in case I missed that. There's Hayman Resort. Actually, it was quite lit up last night, so maybe that means I've got a good occupancy rate. And Black Island. There's a few boats there on that sand spit. They must have stayed overnight, but it is so calm at the moment that you could actually get away with it. Minimum roll here. Last night in here as well, so, and that in the distance is Airlie Beach, if you can make that out. There's a yacht in front of it, and directly behind that you can see the built-up hills and stuff like that. So, good internet coverage, hopefully, now. Yeah, looking across at Airlie, and now we can see all the Mole Islands, south, mid, and north. And looking south down the channel and along Hook Island here. So I might actually head back up that way with a view to going through Hook Passage, but we'll see how that goes. Very light winds today. That's okay. We're cruising along well enough without my finger in the lens. And down this way, if you look, we can actually see Gloucester Island. Okay, so remember the Rarotonga or Hawaii or whatever people seem to think it looked like. There it is down there, quite a way off, but all in a very close area together here. Lots of places to go. Just coming back in towards Hook Island again. So what I'm doing, for better or for worse, is I'm tacking up against the wind here. It's a very light wind. It's about 3 knots, but enough to keep us going, and that's good. Now, the tide was high almost 2 hours ago. So outgoing tides basically will flow north and I'm going south. That's the bad news. So what I'm doing is basically trying to do small tacks up the side of the island to hopefully stay out of the mainstream of the tide, and, obviously not have it knock me back quite as hard as it might. So, yeah, let's see if that works. Generally it's okay. You can catch some back eddies sometimes, or at least sort of stay out of the mainstream. But on the other side of that, I've got to make sure I don't get too close and lose the wind. So, yeah, bit of a balancing act. Keeps you honest. Well, what a difference a day or a couple of weeks makes. Yeah, I'm motor sailing at the moment. As you can probably hear, the engine's running. Very light wind. It's in my face now. The tide's in my face. So, I decided I'll motor sail this part and, just get round the point here at, the top of Hook Island. Around the corner here is False Narrow. We saw that yesterday, as we came down basically from Sawmill Bay to Stonehaven. If you look at my video from about 2 weeks ago, which from Nara Inlet to Airlie Beach, actually the day before that too, from Blue Pearl Bay to Nara Inlet, my brother and I were basically slogging up this coast, but strong winds and strong tide both against us. So we're basically tacking out into some significant chop, getting quite wet in the process. And now look at it. So the aim basically is to get around the top of Hook Island. I'm thinking of going down Hook Passage to the other side, to the outside of the islands. Maybe go somewhere like Chalky's Beach, Whitehaven, or somewhere before that to overnight at least. Tomorrow's Saturday. So kind of want to beat the rush of people who come out for the weekend. They're all safely closeted away at their desks at the moment. We like that. So yeah, hopefully get around the top of the island. The tide should be going with me, quite significantly, strongly too, I believe, down Hook Passage. Haven't been before, so this is a new experience coming up. Now, motor sailing basically is I have got the wind in my sails. I've got the engine pushing me along, adding some speed. And because of that, the slipstream from the, moving forward under the power of the engine actually allows me to point higher up into the wind, and the sails are still, using their airfoil effect to still push us ahead. So it's, it actually works quite well. But yeah, I can't wait to turn the engine off. That's not why I'm here. Anyway, let's see what's round the corner. Finally getting to the top of Hook Island. That's with Sunday Island in the background. So, looking forward to doing the left turn here and turning that engine off again. Didn't come out here to listen to engines. Stunning day out here still. Breeze has come up a little bit. So hopefully that'll make the rest of the passage easy. Always intrigues me to see these rock piles and sort of think, okay, what happened here? Looks like one rock split in half. And why? And others remain standing, which like, wow, looks like one push and they'd be over. But it's been like that for a while because you can see the tide, line being ripped through them there, basically. That's how strong the tides are, that they cause those, indentations and very defined lines. So you know exactly how high that tide goes. Anyway, we're approaching the point here, and hopefully that means we'll be able to turn around and do some, plain sailing. And here we come, the big reveal. But don't be fooled. This is the false Nara, not the real one. The real one is a little further around, as we spent quite a way tacking into it, back on the Blue Pearl to Nara video of about 2 weeks ago. You see a boat coming out of Hook Passage there. That's with Sunday Island. This obviously being Hook. And we're going to do a left turn down that channel, which gets quite tricky at the other end, apparently. So I'm interested to see what happens. Well, I hope nothing happens, but I'm interested to see what it looks like. Shall I put it that way? Okay, just coming around into the mouth of Nara Inlet. Yeah, as you can see, these are quite a tidal sort of activity here. There's also a whale here somewhere too. There he is. Not quite sure. There. Yeah, could be a mother and calf by the looks of it, as usual. There we go. Lovely. I see the little one there too. So, yeah, come on, Junior. Let's go and swim in this tide. It's not quite the Southern Ocean, but it'll get you used to it. Anyway, looking into Nara Inlet. And I now have full wind in my sails, so I will be shutting off the noisy motor. So this is Nara Inlet. There is a reef here on the left-hand side facing in. So you really have to come right up to the right-hand side to get in. You can probably see the marker down there basically, so you're going to take that to your left. Further up is where we stayed a couple of weeks ago in a refuge bay. We were trying to escape the big chop basically that was coming out of the south, and this actually did quite well for us, so surprisingly, because it is facing sort of southwest really. And we're coming along slowly. The wind's just changed from one side to the other at the moment, but yeah, it is known for fluky winds, as I said. Look at the colour of that water, just for a change. Coming up on Makona Inlet, and that reminds me, I have had my second coffee, so that's it for the day. Yeah, so the hook passage at Hook Round to the left. I'm sure it's not why it's named that, because it's all about Hook Island, I'm sure. Anyway, we were on the starboard tack, now we're on the port tack, so go figure. But we're making slow progress. 2 knots at the moment, even though the wind is showing a true wind speed of 5.6. So that leads me to believe we're still fighting the tide, which makes me hope that when we get around that point, we may have the tide with us, because that's going sort of north. Anyway, we will see. Well, there's a guy fishing there in his tinny. Standing up, of course. I don't get that, but anyway. Now looking more into Makona Bay now. An interesting rock formation. I'm going to go with Eagle Rock on that one. Anyway, that's the way I see it. Creeping around now to the bottom of Hook Island. Comes and goes, getting a bit of clear air coming now out of Makona Inlet. So we're pushing along at around about 2 knots, breakneck speed. Interesting rock on the top of that hill over there on Whitsunday Island. I think I've seen that from the other side on one of my earlier videos as we were going from Tongue Bay to Manta Bay, probably about two weeks ago or more. And further into Makona Inlet, it's quite a deep inlet too. So these are great basically for shelter. You know, if it gets a bit rough and tumbly out here, you can go deep into those inlets basically and just find some shelter from the waves and from the wind. Okay, so motor sailing here once again. It's going to be one of those days, hey. Coming up to the turn in Hook Passage. Going straight for a cruise at 2. Cruising for a bruising, don't want one of those. But I'm noting that the speed is slowly building, so there may still be some outgoing tide going in my favour. So cross your fingers. Okay, the next twig reveal. Basically looking at the open sea there. Well, the Great Barrier Reef is beyond that, as well as us being part of it here. So we're now doing 3.5 knots without me changing anything. So we've gone from about 2.9 to 3.5. So it either means that slack tide is here and it's not fighting us, or we might actually get a bit of a lift, which would be nice. Not really enjoying motoring that much. It's not what I came here for. But yeah, quite a narrow channel there between these two islands. And therefore it gets very fluky and freaky and all kinds of ease. Sometimes it's not easy, but anyway, no ease. So I'll go between these runabouts, doing some fishing, and head for the Chanel. Slowly making our way down Hook Passage. Yeah, we're sitting on 3 knots. It's never really got any better than that. It pulled back again. So we're either in slack tide, or perish the thought is starting to come against us. I've just got to shoot myself out the end there before that happens. And then basically it should be in my favor. If I'm going south, then the incoming tide should be pushing me along. Nice little beaches along here. As with a lot of them, though, they're rocky at low tide. So somewhere in here, oh yeah, I can see there's a bunch of moorings up there. Somewhere in here basically was, back in the days of yore, I'm not sure, but an observation area. So people could go down and see the corals and stuff. So I'm assuming it's one of those underwater viewing things. It's long since been dismantled. Reason being, basically, these days we have the high-speed catamaran cruisers that take people all the way out to the reef in a day. So this kind of thing kind of lost its luster. But yeah, people just had to do what they could do back then to experience the Great Barrier Reef, which we're very much a part of here. Back behind us now too. Motor sailor, dear me. And looking back that way towards Sid Harbour, which is where we were the night before last. So we're leaving this passage behind with the islands and background, and swinging around with Sunday Island and back to the channel. So yeah, boats coming in. So we're now doing 3.4 knots again. So yeah, must have found the sweet spot. Okay, so this is Observatory Bay, where I mentioned there was a coral viewing arrangement in days gone by. Now all been removed, apparently, which is good. Oh, look, there's a palm tree there. Yeah, and just, it looks like we're going to the Pillars of Hercules here. Well, I assure you it's not the Atlantic. It's Sunday Island. That's with Sunday Cairn, which there was a walking track up there, which is, something else would be really cool to do, because I'm sure you can see for miles from up there as well. So, yeah, getting slowed down a bit now. We're just over 2 knots. I think the tide is going to start biting into us now. So let's just shoot ourselves out here as quickly as possible. Getting closer. Oh, look at that. Stingray Bay, but look at the palm trees. I know. Thing about palm trees, right? Wherever I grew up in the tropics, we always had palm trees. We're in the tropics here, but not so much. Getting closer now. I think it's always amazing when a yacht comes around a point, you see the masts, and then the whole boat comes along. Anyway, pictures. Yeah, wind against us now, tide against us now. You can probably see on the water smooth bits and then eddies and stuff like that. So, getting thrown from side to side a little bit. It's not too bad because we're still in the first hour, and that's usually a little more than slack, and not that strong. But yeah, the sooner we get out of here, the better, because it's not going to stop getting stronger. See the little eddies and everything. There's that ship that came around the corner. I call it a ship, but it is. It was bigger than I thought. So, yeah, nice. Coming in pretty quickly, riding the tide. Look behind him as well. So, tour groups, I guess, or charters, or whatever it is. Yeah, I get a good rate of knots. Nice. Yeah, so interesting. I'm riding the tide still at 3.7 knots now, and you can see there's a distinct demarcation with water that's flooding in. So this is the borderline between the two, and I'm about to cross it. So here we go. The mark going around 3.8 knots. Still holding 3.8 knots. These guys coming in smartly because they've got tide going with them on that side. 3.6 knots. 3.3. So I'm going to lose the advantage very soon. Okay, the rudder wants to go every which way. Oh, it's not loose. Okay, just pressing hard over now to starboard to keep us in a straight line. 2.2 knots. Okay, so we've just about halved our speed in as many meters. So yeah, we're definitely fighting it now. Down to 1.8 knots. So I basically need to get myself around this point, at which point the tide should be flowing with me again, because it should be going from north to south. Looking up the west coast of Hook Island, we did cruise up here a couple of weeks ago. That was a cruise from the video Tongue Bay to Manta Ray Bay. Okay, so from nearly 4 knots before, just holding 1.2 knots as we push our way out of this channel entrance here. Feels like we're standing still, which is probably not too far from the truth, to be honest. We'll get there. We'll get there, and then it should hopefully give us a ride. Okay, looking back down the channel before we lose the mainland and the various islands in there. And yeah, interesting rock formations. Quite smoothed over at the bottom, so obviously it gets a bit of attention from the sea. So we've got to skirt out around this point, and there is it's quite shallow out from the point, so I'm just giving that a bit of a wide berth. But we're starting to achieve escape velocity from that tidal effect, back up to 3 knots now. And I suspect as we get round the point, we'll get a bit more wind, and we should have the tide then pushing us the way we want to go. Just for a change. Got a little white sand or coral piled up at the top there. So yeah, just nice being out here back in the open sea, looking back at the western coast of Cook Island. Okay, so just clearing here the Whitsunday, the point here. Interesting rock formation pointing up the side there. That's Border Islet further down. We'll probably go on the inside of that, I guess. And that land outcrop appearing between the mainland and Border Island is, I think, Dumbbell Island from memory. We came down here 2 or more weeks ago. That's the Tongue Bay to Manta Ray Bay video, which I've said before. But hey, I'd barrow a little bit. Just cruising along nicely here now on the outside. Yeah, Border Island out there. There are some moorings there on the north side. I can see some boats. And there's also Dumbbell Island here. I pointed that out before. I remember when we came the other way a couple of weeks back, we sort of remarked on how nice a place it looked. So maybe that's an option. Looking further down, Hazelwood Island. That is where Chalky's Beach is. You see the gap in between there? That's Solway Passage. We came up there a few weeks ago. Two very intense currents through there. We saw some really serious whirlpools coming through, and noted the depth got down to 117 meters, not feet, meters, 400 feet or thereabouts. So yeah, pretty serious. Just to the right of that, you'll find Whitehaven Beach. It's a famous white sand beach, which, photo opportunity, which everybody loves to come out here for. So they're bringing people out all the time. And the headland closer, not these two headlands, but the third one, I think that's Tongue Bay, where we did stay. Either it's this side or the other side of that hill. I think it might be the other side. So anyway, I'm seeing where this takes me at the moment. I think there are 2 moorings out there at Dumbbell Island. None taken at the moment, but I can see a yacht heading for that. So I'm just going to keep an eye there and decide what I'll do. Yeah, stunning day out here. Sun on my back. Can't be beat. So approaching Border Island, it gets to that time of the day where it's sort of a scramble to find somewhere to moor for the night. In this part of the world, they actually have mooring, buoys. So there's a lot of places you're not really allowed to anchor because of the coral. So that stands to reason. Either that or it's just way too deep for a normal anchor chain. And it'll just be left swinging in the tide, not in the breeze. So yeah, having a look over here, I think the book says there are 6 moorings, and I think I can see 6 boats, through the binoculars. There's 2 over on Dumble Island, and I can only see 1 boat. So I might go and have a look there. I know I said before it was, saw it was an attractive place, but it's a case now of just finding whatever's available. And if that's available, fantastic. So, beautiful day out here. Jumping back down towards the, south, eastern coast of Whitsunday Island. Amazing mountains and rock formations. I know I'm always wittering on about that, but hey, somebody has to. So let's see where we end up in Belle Island. Getting closer. Still can't see where the other mooring is. I think that yacht there is actually the one that followed us out of the channel, that motor sailor. He kept on motoring, so he didn't do any sailing. So I've been tacking the channel. Anyway, I'm just trying to see if there was another mooring there. So far, I cannot see. So, 2 moorings marked on the map. The only one here, although there's a little one there for runabouts. So, maybe that's what they meant. Anyway, doing a flyby and keep on going. I guess Tongue Bay is my next option. And hopefully that'll be before dark. Looks like a little snorkeling down here. Yeah, that's be good for it. Okay, well, that's Dumbbell Island. We're back in the current again now, so even with just the engine idling and the mainsail doing not a lot, doing 4 knots, so going to put the sails out again now that we know we're not staying there. Might go and have a look at Tongue Bay over there. Whitehaven Beach further down, but it's quite exposed. Tried that before and it was very rolly. Getting closer to Tongue Bay now. There's a few boats in there. Somebody just left, actually. So, yeah, I'll go and have a look. If there's no buoys, I'm sure I can just anchor. So, it doesn't really matter. Jeez, look at the state of this thing coming here, would you? Looks like it should be in the Navy or something. I think a lot of people just count themselves lucky to have the tender, quite frankly. Huh. Here we are, the boats of Tongue Bay, and winner, chicken dinner. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, a blue boy. That's my blue boy. I'm going to beat these guys. I think they had their eye on it too, but they were way behind me. Just saw some whales out here too, actually, so it's all going on. Yeah, I know. Welcome to the modern world, fighting over spaces again. Well, I have secured a mooring. Ooh, look at those fish jumping. Oh, and the whale. Yeah, I was up the front. Sorry, I didn't have the phone with me, but I was scared of dropping it in. 2 whales, at least 2 whales came through, just porpoising along, whaling along, I suppose, really. And yeah, one of them really has a bellow of an exhale happening. So I thought, whoa, they've literally just gone around the point. One of the tails went up, so they've sounded. I think this is the look of disappointment. I beat them to. Look, all is fair in love and parking, right? We know that. I win today, I may lose tomorrow. Not if I try hard, though. Anyway, here we are in Tongue Bay. Whoop, jumping fish. And more jumping fish. Just little ones. Yeah, these are my neighbours. See, they're all standing out there on the catamaran there, waiting for watching the whales disappearing around the corner. So I got here just in the nick of time. Yeah, everybody's out on deck. I could hear that. That's the thing with whales, you often hear them before you see them. So, oh, that could have been a turtle over there. Anyway, here we are for the night. Looks like they've got a mess of people on board there. Like the Navy lining up as they come into port. I suppose that means they're not in anger or something. Anyway, Dumbbell Island, missed out on that one. That's okay, I'm here now. Border Island. That's Dilla something or other island. And some rocks further out there on the horizon. So, stunning evening again. I have been before, so you'll see an earlier video of this area. Probably about 2.5 weeks ago, which probably would have been Hamilton Island to Tongue Bay, I think it would have been called. So we actually went ashore on this beach here, and there is a walking track that takes you up the top of the hill, because on the other side there's an amazing lookout over Hill Inlet. It's the classic Whitsundays picture. Beautiful white sand estuary with turquoise water, and of course on the other side is Whitehaven Beach, which I mentioned earlier on. Yeah, pristine white silica, I think it is. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, big draw card. Anyway, it is evening. We are here, and that's done for the day. It was a good day, and that concludes our day from Stonehaven to here at Tongue Bay on the east coast of Whitsunday Island. They've got a mob and a half on here, I tell you. Looks like a youth boat of some sort. God knows if they all sleep. Somebody's getting lucky tonight, whether they want to or not. Uh-oh, party time. Anyway, for me, dinner. Well, end of a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching another Fast Forward to Queensland video. As always, don't forget to like, comment on YouTube and subscribe to Dawn Radar.